Hey guys, welcome back. I am in the middle of working on a 3-yard quilt, and I have just finished up a stack of half square triangles. Lord, I need that. Don't lose that. That I need to cut and square up. But I am down to the last, bobbin roulette. Have you ever played bobbin roulette? I'm down to the last little bit on my thread spool. So I'm going to take this opportunity, and I'm not throwing that away. I'm going to, save that. I have some blue thread I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and pop my bobbin out because I want to, I wound up 3 whites. This one's about down to half. And I had ordered some thread, if I can get to it. I see it. It's in a box. Hold on. It's behind all this stuff. Oh, I've got it. If my hand will hold on to it. Get my other hand. Try to get to it. Okay. This is broth thread. It's for quilt. This is a quilt and embroidery. So I don't know how this is going to work on my machine, but we're going to try it. I ordered this 12 pack. It says neutral and jean colors because my hubby was always wanting me to hem his jeans, and I still got to learn how to do that. But I'm going to take this opportunity, since I just ran out of my white thread. I'm going to wind me up a small bobbin, like a half a bobbin of blue, and I think that will be enough. I just got to figure out which blue, because there's a couple blues. There's blues, there's grays, there's taupes, there's golds, there's like buttercream colors in here. So these are the 3 blues. I think I'm going to use this one. They're very similar. This is a bright blue, so I think that one will probably work the best. This is the darkest, and this was the other more denim shade. I think I like this one, so I'm going to try to put all these back in here the way they're supposed to be. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. And I'm going to do my friend Tracy's quilt. So I'm going to wind up a small bobbin of blue, and we're going to bind this quilt together. I just needed to take a break from those half square triangles. It's killing my hands. If I had paid attention, this is why you read your pattern first. And you know what, guys, I just jump in. This is the instructions. This is what we're doing. I just jump in. That's a lot of half square triangles. But it is a beautiful, beautiful quilt, and I can't wait to get this piece together. It does look kind of complicated after you realize this is all half square triangles. We're gonna see. All right, so let me get this threaded up on my machine, and I will grab her quilt, which is actually back there on my bed, and we're gonna bind this quilt together. Okay, so I have Miss Tracy's quilt trimmed down. I could have very easily left the backing on and just trimmed out the batting and used my back for the my binding, because I chit-chat and talk to Max and his wife all the time when I catch them in there, and he's like, we leave you enough on there if you want to do that. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what mood I'm in. So I have with me here a box, and what I do with this box is I throw my binding in here. Just a little box or a little basket or something. I have it pinned. And that's just so it doesn't go rolling all over, because I take this, drop it in the box, it sits down here at my feet. Right? So I'm going to turn you guys down, and I'm in no way like great at binding. Trust me, no way great at binding. I'm still learning. The last quilt I did, I will say, was better than the quilt before, and better than the quilt before that. Get me a drink of water. Because I stirred up a lot of lint cutting this batting. Okay, so here is my binding. Now, I can do binding 2 ways, and it just depends. But with my hand hurting the way it is, there's no way I'm going to hand bind this. And when I hand bind, I sew it to the front. Then I flip it to the back, and I sew it down with a hidden seam. But since I'm using I'm going to do completely machine bound, I'm going to start with on the back, and then I'll flip it to the front. So I'm going to take my quilt and get my edge going here. And I'm going to come down a little ways. And yes, the binding is the same as the backing. I just take what's left over. So I'm coming down like a little over a foot, about a foot-ish. Move some of this stuff out of my way because I know I'm going to need all this space here in just a minute. My needle's out of the way as well. Lord have mercy. Okay. And I'm debating on if I want to put my walking foot on. We'll see what happens. So I've put blue thread in here, and this is the first time I'm using this thread, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to leave about 3 to 4 inches of a tail. I'm not going to sew down. Okay. So I'm going to leave a tail. And I want my 1/4 inch foot, so let me swap feet here. Alright, now. You don't have to use a 1/4 inch foot, use whatever you're used to using, but I'm going to leave several inches of a tail. 4 to 6, let's just say 4 to 6. Alright. And let me fold this up a little bit like this so I can control it better. I'm going to start, and I'm going to back it up a hair. Alright. For this, I don't use pins, I don't use clips, nothing. I'm going to turn my machine down just a little bit. Oh, turn it down a little bit more. And we're just going to sew this all the way around. And the only reason I'm putting my hand back here is because I have a shelf right here, and it'll hit that and it'll start kind of going to the side. I need to find something better to do with this shelf. That's kind of got all my stuff that I grab a lot. So unless I can mount it, find a way to mount it on the wall or put me some shelves on the wall. Alright, so now that I've sewed a little bit down, I'm going to take a look at how that's looking on the front. Okay, not bad, not bad. And I'm actually going to take my stitch length up to a 2. I was at a 1.8. Unwind a little bit more. Lay this down even, and this is all I do, guys. This is all I do. It's bleeping in pretty good. This is not a big quilt, so it's not going to take that long to do the back here. So when I get down to my end, can you guys see I'm getting down toward my corner? I'm going to take a pin. Well, usually I'll take my ruler or a pin and just kind of visually know where I want to stop. Like right there. And I'm going to sew off to the corner. And I'm just going to get kind of to where I think I am. I'm going to back stitch a hair. I used to I'd sew off to the corner, but I wasn't using a 1/4 foot. I'm going to pick this up and pull it off completely, just a little bit. Your string is still attached. You could cut the thread if you want to. And I'm going to flip this up for my 90-degree angle. Trying to get it as good as I can get it here. It's not perfect, but I think I'm going to take it. And then put my machine back down. Here's usually where I have to give it a little extra help because it's so thick. And then I go down the other side. And there is my corner. I used to just sew off at an angle, but now with this 1/4 inch foot I can't really do that. Let me see how that's been sewing. Not bad, not bad. So I might turn it up a little bit now that I know it's sewing good. And doesn't look like there's any real issues. Couple little loopy loops, but all that's going to get hid. I'm going to turn up my tension just a hair. Okay. Yep, it's not doing good going that fast. Turn it back down. It does not like this petite fabric. I have learned doing this binding, when I was sewing my binding, it doesn't like this fabric because it's kind of slick. It does not like it. So I'm going to go all the way around and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so let me get you guys caught up because this thread doesn't like my machine. My machine does not like this material, so it has been a struggle. So once I've come to my tail, because I already did this and I had to delete it because it's just... What I do is I overlap my tails. I measure 1/4 inch and I cut. So you'll have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this side and a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this side. And I need something for because my machine does not like this material, I have learned. I'm going to start a leader. So I'm going to open this up. This is why you want slack, because you want to be able to bring it together like this. You're going to open up both your tails. If I can get my fingers to cooperate, you're going to put them right sides together. And this is where it gets hard because you're trying to work with this extra material. If I can just get it to stay right there. As long as I can get it started and get that corner in there. And I think I bent my needle because it's wanting to misbehave. Alright, so let's cut this leader off. So now you have a piece that's together. I'm going to iron this piece open really quickly off camera. Just going to iron that inside seam. Kind of open, just press it open really quick. And then lay this back down, and then you will have your perfect binding, guys. And that, it took me a couple of times learning to do that, watching videos, making sure I measure correctly. I'll just hit it with iron. There's where I sewed it, and that is perfect. So I am going to sew this piece down, hopefully, because this thing is giving me a hissy fit. I think tie it off. going over that little hump. There we go. I am going to change to my walking foot to do the front because it does not like this material. It's just not wanting to like grab it with the teeth. Back it up. Alright, so I have it all the way around, and this is where we're going to get the clips out. Lord, look at this mess. So here's my clips. And I am going to change this thread. I don't like this thread at all. I don't like it. It's pretty. I mean, the color looks good, but as far as my machine don't like it. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. So I'm probably just going to switch back to white. Oh yeah, I can't get my plate to pop up. So I have that much left on a bobbin. I did order me a bobbin organizer. I'm just going to set this up here for right now, and then I need a new white. And I really don't want to use white because nothing else on the quilt is white. So let me see what I have in my thread stash. I should have bought me some blue, but I thought I have this blue, so I'll use that. Hold up. Look what I got here. Now this might not be no better, but I do have another blue. So let's try this guy. And I'll have to find another bobbin of some blue. A different blue. Alright. Let me get this bobbin wound. And I think I'll have to pull one from out of my drawer down here. Yes, because it did not like that, and it might not like this one. I don't know. Don't know, but we're going to find out. This doesn't feel as slinky, silky. It feels a little stiffer feeling, so maybe it won't slip and slide feeling like it was doing. At least that will be hid on the inside. You won't even see it. Get my... Are you going? There you go. See, why are you popping? I don't understand. Why are you popping? I'll be back. Do you ever get in the sewing room and just feel like nothing is going right? Do you ever have those days? Because I got in here last night and was going to do this. So that's when I cut my binding, ironed it, and got it on its little bobbin spool there, and was just trying to sew the binding together, and it was just not. It was not. So I got my clips. I just put my walking foot on, changed the thread, and did a test run with the thread. That looks good. So we'll see. So I have my clips here. I'll flip you guys down again. I like this tripod. Okay, so I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm going to start kind of pulling this up. Now try to like flatten it down. I'm going to take this corner and pull it up. And if you need to trim some of this excess off, I mean, you can. If you feel like it's a little too bulky, just don't cut your threads. Okay? Just don't cut your threads. Alright, so I'm going to take this corner. I'll try to take my finger and kind of push it up in there. And I'm going to start just folding this over. And I'm going to clip it about every 3 to 4 inches. And then on my corner, I'm going to push it out this way. Then I'm going to just take this one and fold it right over top. Did you see that? I'm just going to take my finger, push it out this way, and it'll make the angle if you sewed it correctly. And then I'm just going to fold it right back over this way, and I'm going to take a clip and put it right there. Now my miter might not be perfectly perfect, but it's good enough for me. And I will fiddle with that when I come to it on the sewing machine. So I'm going to take my binding and just give it a little tug. Take my hand and push it out like that. And then I'm going to go around this whole thing with clips just to hold it down every, like I said, 3 to 4 inches. If I have any threads that need to be cut, if I see them, I will trim them. And I try to just kind of take my fingers and finger press the fabric so it's already getting a memory to like be creased right there. You can take your iron and go over it with the iron. You can take Elmer's glue and glue it that way instead of taking these little clips. There's a lot of ways you can bind a quilt. Yeah, this is a small quilt, so I'm already to the other corner. This one, I might take just a little bit of bulk off of this one as well. When I say a little bit, I talk about, I mean just a little bit of the bulk out. But what I said about those loops, there's a few little loops, they're going to get hid right here. And you're not even going to see them on the back because they're hid that way too. Let me flip you guys up a little bit because you can't. Yeah, there we go. You're not seeing what I'm doing. So same thing here. Took a little bit of bulk out. I'm going to take my fingers. I'm just going to kind of crease it out this way. And then I'm just going to fold it right over. And then I'm going to take a clip, stick it right there. I did put my walking foot on. I don't know if I said that already. Put my walking foot on, and it's just a generic that I got on Amazon that fitted Janome. But it works well. You can use as many or as few clips as you want. That corner's going to do really good. That corner's going to be perfect. Yay. I don't know if you can see right here. Here's where I was having a lot of trouble with that thread. It kept looping up, looping up, looping up. So I had to cut it all off and sew back over it. It's like, what in the world are you doing? You're messing with my mojo here. This quilt was really easy to put together, but you're being a great finishing. We had seen a couple of sewing machines at Goodwill, $20. One was a Singer. I don't think it might have been about the same age, or I don't know, as my Singer. It's very, oh, that one went on the floor. Very similar, but a little different. I had one almost identical to my old Singer come in to the local Goodwill. I was like, that one's a lot like mine. I need to turn my iron facing the other way so I don't accidentally brush my hand up against it. But you can find sewing machines at thrift stores, guys, so just pay attention. And if you don't have like all the cords, you can get cords on eBay and Amazon and all different kinds of places. You can find like the pedal cords and stuff like that. So one last corner here to snip. So I'm going to finish going around these corners and we'll come back and finish it off. Alright, guys. Welcome back. Yes, look totally different. The hubby come home and said, let's go to the movie, so change clothes really quick. But I finished the quilt, just flipped it to the front, sewed it all the way around, got my corners. They're doing better. They're better than what they used to be, most definitely. But just to show you the fronts and my corners, like there's the back. But she's finished. There's what it looks like with the binding. I cannot wait to mail this out to Miss Tracy. Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.